Okay, Zero, we have a problem. And I'm not talking the extremely strong wind outside of me. The bike is plugged in and it is switched on. I should say the socket is switched on to charge the bike. And we have nothing. The bike is not charging. Yes, I've tried all the obvious stuff. I've tried different leads, I've tried different sockets. Everything possible, really. So it is a fault with the bike. Now, what that is, I don't know. There were reports of problems with this happening on older Zero bikes, but I kind of hoped that had been resolved. Whether I had one of the batch of faulty charging components, I don't know. It may be they had a stock load they had to get through and just kept their fingers crossed that they wouldn't do this. However, it has done this. The bike does start up. So it powers up okay. I've just got it set to display errors, which are 44 and 45 at the moment, and they are those are basically the yeah, the motor's switched off and the side stand is down. So yeah, the bike's going to be picked up today and taken back to the dealer, to Street Bike in Helsingør, who will investigate further. Inconvenient, but maybe this is the price you pay for being an early adopter. Who knows? Well, the bike was collected yesterday and I heard from my dealer today and they confirmed that there was a problem with the charger and it will need to be replaced. Obviously it's all under warranty. There have been quite a number of people who've had problems with chargers on the Zero bikes, but they tend to be the older models. Now, whether it's the same charger that's been used across the years, I don't know. I can't honestly comment on that. But if they're still going to new bikes, it seems a bit strange. On the other hand, Zero's a small company. If they had a batch load of these chargers, they needed to use them all and take the risk that the odd one would fail now and again. Because they're probably not big enough to do a full recall of every bike. Then, okay, that's kind of understandable for a small company. However, there is a kind of slight ethical dilemma there. What happens if a bike goes out of warranty and then the charger fails and it's been put on the bike knowing that it may well fail at some point? That becomes a little bit more of a grey area, I would have thought. I wouldn't expect a manufacturer to be that honest about this kind of thing, or not even honest, but just open about it. I'd expect them to just stay quiet and deal with the problems as and when they arise. It takes a bit of time for parts to get to my dealership. There's a kind of a strange system with Zero where they send from the US to the Netherlands and then from the Netherlands to the UK, which seems a bit strange when they could just ship to the UK. But again, there may be financial costs involved. I don't know. The upshot is I'm without electric bike for a week. Now, I did have another issue with the bike, which I'd forgotten to mention in my previous video where I was out on the bike ride. And that was namely an issue with the dash unit on the bike. Specifically, there was a fault with the clock on it where it was stuck on midnight, so 0000. And this kind of manifested itself when I switched the bike on, came up with some E's, which suggested error, although there were no error codes that you could see on the dashboard, as you normally can if there's some kind of error. So that was a bit of a mystery. It was something that other users had reported, other bike owners had reported, and as had happened in their cases, my dealer simply swapped out the dash unit. Another thing I'm having done while the bike's in for this charger replacement is I'm going to have a rear mudguard put on the bike. When we're dealing with EVs, we have to remember that we're dealing with new technologies, and so we can kind of expect to have these teething problems, especially with a smaller company like Zero. You know, they haven't got the money of some of the larger automotive companies behind them. So you've got to keep that in mind, keep that in the bigger picture. And to me, it's not... Yeah, it's an inconvenience. I don't like being without the bike, but the bike's being collected from my home. It's been taken, it's going to be repaired at no cost to me and brought back at no cost to me. So it's not a big deal, and I can put up with it. I appreciate there may be other people who are reliant on the bike, and for them it would be a much bigger issue. But in those cases, I would have hoped that a dealer would provide a courtesy bike at least. So yeah, I'm gonna be without the bike for a few days, but as I say, I have to keep thinking bigger picture. I'm an EV advocate. I have to accept that there will be problems, there will be teething issues with new technologies, and that kind of goes with the you've got to weigh the positives against the negatives, and think about things like the running costs and other things not going wrong that would conventionally go wrong on a normal bike. So yeah, all round, those are the couple of issues I've had. A couple of things been replaced under warranty, but they don't really sour the experience for me at all. It's Saturday the 21st of January, and look who got back. She's back. Been at the dealers for just over a week. It was a week ago on Wednesday. I came to pick her up, and she's back. And if we plug her in, there's nothing on the dashboard. Let's go and switch the power on. Yeah, there's the relay switch coming on. Green light. So it's all working fine. Interestingly, if I just power this off again. Okay, so turn the power off. Green charging light's still on. I don't think it used to do that. Let me just take this cable out as well. Something interesting does happen. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. There does appear to be a delay now between it losing power to the bike and this little green charging light going off. Now that might be something to do with the new charging unit that's been put in the bike. But yeah, in a few seconds I predict that will go off. Sure enough, you can hear the relay switch off as well. Yeah, so something's different there. I'm not sure what's changed, but if it's fixed the problem, that's all well and good. Glad to have her back. I've had something fitted whilst being away, this mudguardy thing here. So that hopefully is going to stop a little bit more of the mud coming off the road, flying up the back and onto the top box I've mounted. But you'll find Fettel again. I'm looking forward to going out on her.